Did you go to
Your
university?
percent pardon?
Did you go to university?
Yes, sir, I did.
Do you remember what it was like when you had finals and it would be like you already went through the coursework. You already know what it is that you were supposed to learn, and you know how to do the the problem solving or the work that's required. But do you remember the anxiety you had when it was time for finals and like this is it, like you got to get a passing grade or that's it? Do you remember what that felt like?
Yeah, yeah,
A lot of anxiety, isn't it?
absolutely.
Think about that for a moment because that's it really captures what we end up doing when we start trading with money, whether it's a prop firm account that can be harvested for withdrawal or if it's with real money. If you haven't done the work, obviously, to get the trade, to do the work and putting yourself in a trade and managing the trade, then it's obvious you're not going to succeed. You're going to fail that final. But if you do the work and you make a model in your own hands that you trust, if you remember all the drills and the work that you did leading up to that final, you know how to do the arithmetic. You know how to solve that equation. That expression is familiar to you. So you're not going to try to put fearful thoughts ahead of what you're getting ready to do as a trader because you've done enough back testing. The curriculum, that semester you went through on that course, listening to the professor, all of that is the back testing. If you've done it correctly, there is no anxiety. I didn't understand the anxiety. Well, when it came to the math and science, I didn't feel it, but the English courses, I never was a good writer or anything like that. But when it came to math and science, I was never anxious about those things. I was excited about it because I knew that would do well. But I can understand how anyone that's going through university, that feeling of what it feels like right before you go to final, that nervousness. Oh man, I got to get a good grade. I got to get a good grade versus I trust what I learned. I trust what I learned. And if you did the work in studying it and you know the source material, you're not going to have any anxiety. And by having this relationship with money, it's the same thing. If you understand money, if you understand it's a tool, it's a resource, and it is a good slave. It works hard and it never gets tired. If you plan it the right way, it never gets tired. It never gets sick. It never calls out, and it will work for you when you're sleeping. It'll work for you when you're on vacation. It'll work for you when you're dead and gone. Your family can reap that whole thing too. But the average person doesn't do all the course curriculum to be able to benefit from the final. But you, as a brand new trader, bring all that uncertainty and anxiety about needing to get a good grade. Who said? Who said you had to make that profit just because you have your TP line right there? What happens if you get out earlier? Has it ever been an interest in your mind saying, I'm forgiving myself if I have to close the trade early because I haven't been doing it enough. I'm a little nervous. Even though the rules say I should hold for that high, I'm going to grow into that because I have time. This is not my final trade. But we treat everything as the final exam. Every trade is the final exam, and you get the best grade, or it's going to hurt your GPA, and you're not going to be able to have the average GPA for you to get when you graduate university and get your degree. That emphasis on results at the end needing to be so high versus trusting what you went through, trusting all the back testing, trusting the model building that fits your personality, that you're comfortable with. You can go to sleep at night knowing that your model's going to work tomorrow. It's going to work tomorrow. You may not get a trade tomorrow, but your model still works. And given the right criteria, you can do it when it presents itself. You're not going to hesitate. You're not going to worry about it because you're not over leveraging and you're not making it a final exam. And by having this relationship with money and profits, it frees you up in terms of inviting the times where you're wrong and letting it take something for the lesson. That's a loss, by the way. You're being trained through a losing trade. You're being taught something. And many times what you're learning is an individual personal shortcoming. It's not technical. It's a personal lesson. Are you really patient? Are you really doing sound leveraging? Or are you putting too much risk on the trade? Are you strangling the stop loss too tight to the entry? Are you chasing it too fast? Are you expecting too much from that trade before it's had a chance to really start finding its rhythm and move? When you take a loss and you spend that money on that loss, you got to mine it. You got to see, what is it teaching me? What is it showcasing to me? Why is it that on social media, everybody wants to show their winning trade? They all want to do that. I want to start something different. I want people to come out and say, here's a trade idea I traded and it didn't work. And this is what I learned from this. What? That's ridiculous. Come on. Nobody's going to want to do that. But guess what? You'll end up teaching without realizing it. And you're going to encourage other people. And you're going to lose all of that sensitivity about taking a loss because you think everybody can see your broker statement. You think everybody can see you taking that hit on your demo account, your prop firm account, your funded account. In your mind, you're so wrapped up in social media, you think they all can see what you're doing. And it weighs on you. It weighs on you. And that's foolishness. And you know the expression, a fool and his money shall be soon parted. So how do you avoid having your money part from you? Don't act like a fool. And what's a fool? Trying to do something not equipped to do yet. Talking about things they don't understand. Answering a matter before listening. Being foolish about your expectations. Demanding more than what your present skill set affords you. And that is not a bad thing. It's power in that. You could be the long-term, consistently profitable trader with a one-to-one risk to reward model. You don't need more than that. But if you listen to these goobers on the internet, 50 to 1, 150 to 1, here's my 501 trade. How are you going to measure up against that? It's like you can't do it. You can't do it as a new trader. So stop thinking foolishly. But there is a ton of one-on-one trades all day long. And if you're only risking, I don't know, 25, 30 bucks on one micro, what if you got 10 of them in a day on a very, very short time frame, like 15 seconds? And you're able to do that a couple times a month. Not every day, just a couple times a month. When everything fires up on technicals and everything's in line, the market's likely to present these opportunities. That's fun. And you end up becoming a lot less fearful of the expectations of losing, drawdown. You'll invite the opportunity to showcase an opportunity for you to learn. In the beginning, you don't look at it that way. The books don't present it that way. Mark Douglas isn't giving it to you like that. You have to dig deep in and let it show you what you are doing to that market through your trade. You're projecting something. Every trade is a projection on your personality, your shortcomings. But they're always going to be presented as your strengths in the trade. In the beginning, I was very eager to get in there and take a trade. And I was looking for strengths to showcase my willingness to overcome the fear that I had initially as a trader. I didn't want to enter. I was afraid. I lost my very first trade, half my account, overnight. That's scary for me. I was a young guy. I didn't make much money. But I learned that I was projecting in my trades the very thing that I was needing help with. I spent so much time in building all these entry models that I fortified that whole thing with proof that sticking with a model, sticking with a criteria, sticking with procedures, things that repeat Not just, it's moving, let me chase it. I overcome that fear. But that's by effort being placed in identifying where my weaknesses was. And my weakness was fear of entering. Your trades, when you lose them, they're telling you something about yourself, not your model. It ain't going to tell you anything about your model. It's going to tell you all about you. And the best thing you can do is be receptive to that, understanding that, hey, look, this is something that's teaching me how to be a better trader. And if I can be a better trader and find the shortcomings I have right now, well, goodness, that's exactly what everybody wants. I mean, you are your best coach. You're not going to judge yourself. You're not going to judge yourself and beat yourself up when you view it that way. You're seeing what it is that requires you to improve upon, and you're getting a magnifying glass placed right over top of that thing that you in the beginning, learning the way everybody learns trading, we're never told to view it that way. We want to sweep it under the rug and pretend it didn't happen. Oh, well, they just come with the natural order of things, and let's just take the next setup. You just got to take the next setup. No. Look into that losing trade, especially in the beginning. If you pretend it didn't happen and you're trying to tell yourself, well, it's nothing to worry about, it's all part of it, you have just cheated yourself of the best learning experience. In the beginning, there are so many things that you're bringing to trading that's not the right thing, but you're not going to identify it that way because you're wearing blinders. You know what really makes you tick. You know the adversities that you're fighting inside, the fears, the sense of finding significance, the need to look right in the presence of your in-laws, your coworkers. Everybody has the doubt, but they wouldn't have had those doubts if you wouldn't have shared your fucking business, would they? So you got to mind your own business, be the captain of your own ship. And last time I checked, the captain doesn't generally let everybody grab the helm. A lot of times you're not even allowed to be in that section of the boat. But all of you invite that shit on social media. Look at what I'm doing. What? No. So I think personally that when we listen to these individuals come forward and they're honest and they say, this is what I'm wondering about, or I want to know if you got any intel about this or that and the other thing. I want to challenge them, not have them be on the other side of me talking at the same time, because I don't want them to be feeling like I'm coming at them, because some of them are already nervous. You can hear it in their voice, they're shaking. And there's no reason to do that. I'm just like them. But I want you to be encouraged by taking losses in the beginning, doing it wrong. Doing it wrong is what made me understand these markets the way I understand them now. I didn't come out doing this right away. It didn't happen like that. And a lot of you are so afraid of falling down. That's not failure. Failure is not getting back up. But falling down is part of this. You're going to fall down a lot if you're going to trade the rest of your life and you got a long life ahead of you. Falling down is going to be a repeating phenomenon. It's going to happen. You're going to have losing trades. You're going to go into drawdown. You're going to be on the other side of Trump's fucking bullshit tweet. Okay? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So prepare for it. Allow for it. Let it teach you something. If you're so anxious about doing it wrong in the beginning and you think that that's going to be the whole core reason why you fail in the future, your perspective is wrong. Every trade that you take is not the final exam. Think about how many times you've traded in the last month with that same perspective. I got to make this money. I got to make this money right now. This trade has to pan out. How many times have you done this? You don't say it out loud, but in your mind you're thinking, all right, if I lose on this next trade, I'm done. I'm not going to risk any more money. I'm just going to stop. I'm not going to do it. If I take a loss on this next trade, that to me is a confirmation that I'm not a trader and I need to stop. How many times have you thought that? But the universe was going to come out and say, all right, he finally or she finally woke up. Now we're in a conversation that matters. I'm going to let this person suffer a loss and spare them of all this future pain and anguish. And then you lost. And then you took another trade. Because quitting ain't part of you. That's the part you're supposed to tap into. Why do you feel that way right before you put on a trade? I'm fearful of the outcome. If I lose, I'm gonna be done with trading. I'm gonna be a failure if I don't win on this next trade. If I don't pass this funded account challenge and get a payout, I'm a failure. No. You are in an environment that's absolutely hard right now. And it's easy for you to beat yourself up when you're doing it wrong right now. Think about it. Who out there right now is killing it every single day and claiming it's easy and they have the receipts for it? Nobody's doing that. So why are you doing it to yourself? Be content with a few things each week. As long as you stay solvent and you're learning as you go through, you're getting an Ivy League education right now in this price action. This is hard stuff right now. And should it loosen up, and I believe it will, you're going to be so thankful that you endured going through the exercises and practicing reading price action, demoing, back testing in these hard market environments. It's going to happen just like that. And when you look at price action, it's going to feel like everything's now perfectly clear. You will think back how hard it felt and how you wanted to quit because you just simply couldn't muster the strength to stay with it. And you're going to be thanking yourself. And you know what? I didn't quit. As much as I wanted to quit, I didn't. I dug my heels in. That son of a bitch in Michael, he said it, and I believed him, and I'm thankful that he said it, and I'm glad I believed it, and I believed in myself, and I stuck with it, because now I know that this was for me. I know that the devil's a liar. I know that I'm going to be able to be a blessing to my family with this. It ain't going to be just for me. I know that the Father's laid this in my hands for a purpose, and it's not for selfish reasons only. Then when you look at price action, you're going to see all kinds of opportunities like Neo. When he finally saw the matrix, everything was binary. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. And your experience will afford you the ability to know in advance, this is going to work. Your confidence level will be exactly how it's supposed to be, not through the roof and overconfidence, so you over leverage. But you're going to be dialed in. You're not going to be influenced to, I better chase this. I better do this one. Oh, there's a fair value. Let me just do something. When you have a little bit of time left because of circumstances in your life, you say, you know what? I don't need to go in and try to squeeze something out. I'll trade tomorrow because I know my stuff works. How many times as a new trader, a new student, have you felt this compulsion come on top of you that you have to do more than you have to do right now? I got to do more. I got to get in here and do more. That's because you don't have a model. That's because you haven't taught yourself that enough is enough.